Hello and welcome back to what we have been doing all this week. And again, this was voted by you guys. Kind of voted by you guys over on Instagram. I put out a post because last week we did Mermaid. Full picture of that. If you want to go and check that one out, guys, go and check that in the playlists or in the videos above. But like I said, I put out a vote between Mermaid and the MCU, and you guys did a 50-50. So what I did was an eeny, meeny, miny, mo between that and between this and Mermaid, and I chose this. Thank God, because Mermaid, I really do like. I did enjoy doing Mermaid, but I think I'm going to hold on to that idea with using 3 or 4. I think it was 7 words, and trying to get it. Shut up, phone. Trying to get them all into one thing, which I don't think I did too badly. If you want to go and check it out, guys, that has been digitized now and completely finished off. So check out that video for that. But like I said, we're going to be doing and colouring in this one today because we've done the inking stage yesterday and the sketching was on Monday. The concept I changed a little bit, but you can see the changes here. You can also see what sort of shading I put in. I used all pen. All of this is now done in pen. There shouldn't be any pencil lines other than a few lines. I think, I wanted to leave them. Even the shading, guys, is actually done with the felt tip pen. It's running out. It works really well for shading, actually. Shut up, pen. That phone you. Right. I'll move it away in a minute. If you were listening to the playlist yesterday of Thor, the God picture, we're going to be listening the rest of that today. There isn't much left of it, so we'll probably find something from Captain America or a bit more from Thor in the comics, not from the MCU, because I've just basically ran out of things to listen to and watch on the MCU, and it's become, I don't know, it just made sense to listen to just some Thor and Captain America, where it's all their lore anyway. If you have seen Endgame, I'd still love some comments. What do you think of it? And what do you think of this drawing? Let me know in the comment section. We are live right now. My name's Blut084, BLUT084. Here on YouTube every single day, occasionally on Mixer, but every day and night over on Instagram. So if you want to leave me a comment, you can't leave one here, you can go over to Instagram and just say hi over there on the post that I put out. Like I said, we're going to be colouring this one in today. I've forgotten to get my pencils again, so I'll go and grab these in a second. But we're going to use our fine lines for real fine line detail. We're going to be using these for colouring in the main shading parts. And for lighter areas, we'll be using pencils like we're normal. I try and use as much as possible. Try not to keep on to one medium in one picture. But give me a second. I'll get that playlist going in the background. And get my pencils.
And it crashes down onto the flying car. Rosalind crawls out stating, "There goes another car. Coulson's going to kill me." And a voice tells her, "Not likely. Not unless he hurries." Rosalind looks up and says, You actually, the hell are you? Ulick tells her, "We are trolls. What are you?" Rosalind pulls out her gun, telling them that she is Agent Rosalind from S.H.I.E.L.D., and they're all under arrest. And Ulick laughs, stating, "Yes, I'm sure we are. Now eat her quickly to save me a thigh." With that, Rosalind loads the magazine into her gun and begins to let off into the trolls. Back in the future, the Goddesses of Thunder also continue their fight. Alisiv is wielding the weapons of her great uncles, Vandel and Hogan. Frigg, wielding the power coursing through her body, swings the hammer Stormbreaker, and Atli uses the great axe Jarnbjorn. They are a match made in Valhalla, or hell. If there is one thing to note, though, it is that Galactus is not the least bit amused by their actions. He shouts at them, "You are nothing but insects for the might of the World Eater. Fly back to Asgard, little goth bugs." Frigg pulls back her arm, telling Galactus, "Be careful, for even the tiniest bug can cause a giant to choke." The hammer is thrown down Galactus' throat, and Frigg holds out her arm, and the hammer returns, ripping
using pencil at the moment, guys, just to get in the main areas. I will use some pen, but not too much.
Galactus calls to them, "Many have tried, including your fool of a grandfather.
I mean pencil, not too much pencil.
Will literally the cosmos from one edge to the other. All but Galactus still burns like a billion suns." But as Galactus begins to release his power, many light years away, the Allfather begins to wake up, asking, "Where am I?" Once Mjolnir appears before him, King Thor remembers what he is doing. He's saving Earth from Galactus. However, as he takes the strap of the hammer, King Thor flies in the opposite direction of where Earth is. is. In the present, Dario walks through Broxton, enjoying the recent progress that his company has made when he hears the roars of thunder. Dario walks over to Thor, stating, "You're making this almost too easy. You should have at least brought Daredevil with you as legal counsel." Thor tells him, "You may have lawyers, but I have a hammer. However, if it will end these people's suffering, then I, Thor, will beg this day. How much begging will it take for you to feel like a man?" Dario takes out a device and presses a button, telling him, "I wouldn't know. It's been a very long time since I felt like anything quite so simple as a man." Just then the floor begins to shake and the ground begins to fall into the sinkhole. Hands reach out and they begin to grab onto Thor, and he shouts, asking, "What devilry is this?" Dario begins to walk up in his Minotaur form, telling him, "Oh, never mind. But please continue. I believe the begging was just about to start." Back in the future, King Thor finds what he was looking for. A black hole. At least, back then it was a mere black hole. Now it is something more dark. King Thor takes his hammer, and after spinning it, he goes through the darkness and begins to carve a path into it. He flies into the small opening to claim what was once thrown away, never to be touched again. All black, the Necro Sword. The blade that slew a billion gods. The black blade of Gore the Butcher. And the last hope for planet Earth. Back on Earth, the three sisters stand after another attack by Galactus, and Frigg shouts that they're about to die here on this chunk of rock once known as Midgard, and they will die for the All-Father. Ellie Siv says I, for their grandfather Thor, and Atli yells, "To hell with it, for blood and guts and glory, and also for Thor." Galactus stomps on the ground asking, "Did I just hear that you're ready to die?" But before Galactus can land the finishing blow, lightning begins to strike, and Galactus asks, "How many times do I have to kill these Asgardians?" Ellie Siv says, "He's back, isn't he?" And Frigg quietly asks, "What has their grandfather done?" The girls look up into the sky to see the All-Black, the All-Father, the God of Butchers, the Necro Thor, the Eater of World Eaters. As he comes racing down, he blasts straight into Galactus' torso. Meanwhile, back in the present day, one of the trolls holds Thor still as Ulick punches into his stomach. Thor manages to curse him, telling him, "You will rot in Nastron for this, if I allow you to survive the day." Ulick tells him, "A troll's home is wherever we can carve it, such as it always has been," and then he punches again. Dario calls out to Ulick, "That's enough. It's time to get down to business." Once he readies himself, he charges into Thor, knocking him into cars and anything else in his path. And from the smoke and debris, Dario walks out, dragging Thor, telling
Oh, I
the
got some
trolls,
cramp today.
Pillage and destroy, murder at will, burn everything to the ground. Ulick shouts to the others, in other words, "Brothers, go be trolls." Thor struggles to pull himself up, telling Dario, "You're just another monster. Hired trolls to kill men, transformed into a beast with the strength of the Hulk. So that means..." Dario leans down, asking, "Yes, what does that mean, almighty God of thunder?" And seconds later, the sound of a thunderous punch can be heard from all across as a body is shot into the air and onto rocks on island. Through the smoking body, Dario crashes back to the ground, and Thor tells him, "That means that I can finally do that." Now the final battle for the two Thors can finally begin, as they both begin fighting for their very lives in order to protect the Earth. One in the present day, one in the future. The mighty Thor battling against all the odds to hold the trolls with Dario back, and the King Thor using the dark power that is the Necroblade to unleash a power never once seen. But as true as there is a King Thor in the future, the mighty Thor does prevail, and Dario is stopped for now. As Thor looks up to see his work, he weeps, knowing where his tears fall, nothing will ever grow again until the end of time. The king, too, sits back to examine his work, finding it surprising that Thor, the king of Asgard, still draws breath and bleeds. But where those drops of god blood fell, the dead rock drinks it deep, and the earth has blood of its own again. The last day of Midgard, it would seem we'll have to wait until another tomorrow. In the wake of the destruction that once was the city of Broxton, a man tells the people how the sickness came, and his name was Asgard. Dario tells the news reporters that if they look around, they can see what happens if they allow the gods to walk the earth. It was their fault that the trolls came, and it's their fault that these attacks happened in the first place. But perhaps it may be partly their fault as well. Trolls and ogres are a normal part of their lives, but it shouldn't be of theirs. So it is time for everyone to gather together to tell these Asgardians to go back to wherever it is that they came from. Days pass since Dario's speech, and She-Hulk Jennifer Walters walks out of the courtroom telling Rosalind that the injunctions for Thor have been lifted, but that's not their biggest problem. What Dario has been feeding to people is working. Congress wants to revoke Asgard's embassy status. Rosalind tells her, thanks for letting her know. She's going to try and speak to Thor now. As she tries to get out of her third car, she asks if it's all right if she parks here. Heimdall tells her that her flying chariot will be safe in Asgard. She has his solemn vow. Rosalind says, okay, cool. Not sure if I should be dipping or something. And then she looks for Thor. Heimdall says that she must follow her ears. The rumbling will direct her where to go. Inside of the halls, more thunder can be heard, and the All-Mother begins to ask if the indoor thunder is really necessary. Thor sits up asking if they voted already, if there's still a chance for the fools to listen to reason. And she tells him that there's a growing unrest in the Nine Realms, as he can already see. Meleketh and his dark elves continue to scheme from their swamps. Every day there are more worrisome rumblings coming from the land of the frost giants, and even some claim to see war bonfires burning once again. Whatever is coming for them, they must face it out there, out where they belong. It is decided. Asgard is leading, and as for the All-Mother, she is commanding him to do a princely duty, or she will find someone else to carry that hammer. And as his mother, she understands his pain. If there is one thing that she can part on him, it is that sometimes they must let go of the things that they love most. Later, as Rosalind finds Thor, he looks out into the world, stating that Roxxon is one. Dario is a murderous monster who consorts with trolls, and yet he walks free. The Congress of Worlds bent to his will. It has been decided that Asgard must go. Rosalind says, wait a minute, what about Roxxon? And Thor tells her that the first time he came to lay eyes upon Midgard, people there still lived in caves and fought one another with sticks and stone. In those days, he only came to make war and revelry, to be worshipped and feared, above all else to destroy. His world and his people have changed so much since then, but has he? Down below, the people of Roxxon try to clean up their broken town, and a little girl picks up her half-destroyed teddy bear. A glorious light then shines down. Thor, along with some of Asgard's finest, kneel before the people, telling them that they all know that it is a time of hardship. But they humbly ask the favor, may they please be of assistance. As Thor and the others clean, Jane tells them they are here to bury buildings, not people today, remember that. Thor says that these are more than just buildings. When he brought Asgard to this land, there was life, and now Asgard leaves and there is nothing. He did this, and he is not worthy of this world. Jane asks, you're not planning on leaving, right? And he tells her, no, I would never do that. I was hoping that you could. It is more important than ever that someone speak for Midgard and the Congress of Worlds, and I know not a finer candidate. She says it is quite an honor, but she's really not sure that she's qualified to. There's still the cancer treatments. Thor tells her that they have a rainbow bridge that can take her anywhere in the cosmos. And after some thought, she decides that maybe she should go. Meanwhile, across the way, Dario gets ready to leave. Before he gets into his car, Rosalind calls out to him, punching him in the face. The people hold her back, and she shouts that she just wanted him to know that this wasn't over. She will prove what he did here and nail his bullheaded butt to the wall for it. Dario's eyes glow red, and he tells her that she has his word, that he will sue her into oblivion for this assault. She storms off, telling him it's a great idea. Too bad he's murdered all of the lawyers. See you around. And so the time for the gods to leave Midgard comes, and Freya tells everyone, with their heavy hearts, they must leave. However, they must all know this. Lords and ladies of Roxxon shall always have gods in their service. So swears Freya, the All-Mother. But rather than leave them with mere promises, please accept these gifts as a token of their eternal gratitude. Gold from the treasures of Asgard, enchanted fruit trees that will bloom for 1,000 years, and a fountain that will never run dry. May the light of the Bifrost shine forever in their skies. As the gods all walk back to Asgard, a little girl from before asks if they're really leaving. They didn't fix the town. Where will they go? That was their home. A voice then calls out, stating, aye, and may it always be. Thor flies down, placing a giant piece of stone down, and he tells everyone that he will not give back what they've lost. But this may serve as a small token of debt that was owed by Thor and the gods. The little girl looks up at the giant castle, and the little girl asks, she gets to live in that? And Thor tells her, if you so wish, yes. Rosalind asks Freya, did Thor just rip out a chunk of Asgard and give it away? Can he even do that? She smiles, stating that it is Bill Skirner, greatest of all the halls in Asgard. Rosalind says, okay, right, so whose castle was that? And Freya says that, who do you think it belonged to? It was Thor's. And so the gods of Asgard return once more to the heavens, though are less alone than when they arrived. Just as Earth itself will never be alone, so long as there is thunder in the sky. And back in the future, a new river has been forged, and Frigg asks, what shall they name this one? King Thor tells her, Roz. And Atli says, Roz, Jane, Steve. What kind of names are those for rivers? King Thor says that they are the unforgettable kind. Now come, children. We have much work to do. We have an entire world to regrow. Elsewhere, though, on a planet once known as Mars, Galactus readies himself to feast on another dead world, one that King Thor has allowed him to have. As he digs into the planet's core, he says that if it wasn't for that damned black weapon, but at least now the weapon is destroyed. However, there is
I don't think they're the right colors.
Something dark.
I'll check in a minute.
As the darkness overcomes Galactus, he laughs as hard as his hollow face can. For what has just been born was the Butcher of Worlds. And so begins the story for another day. And there you have it, the conclusion to the Thor God Butcher full storyline video. We're also going to be bringing you the female Thor storyline, which comes very shortly after this as a full story. And then we're going to be prepping into War of the Realms. So you got a lot of stuff coming here at Comet Story. So if you want more of this, please consider subscribing to our channel. And don't forget, we are also Twitch streamers. You can find us most nights at twitch.tv/eligiblemonster, playing various games from MMOs to survival games to whatever's popular right now. Hope to see you there.
Just going to see what's going to roll up next.
Welcome to the Full Story series, where we take some of our older videos and combine them into one epic long audio drama for you. Thanos had a storyline a little while ago in which he was dying, and this is Thanos, the Mad Titan. He doesn't die. So what does he do when he's about to die? He finds a cure. This whole storyline involves time travel, cosmic Ghost Rider, and various crazy elements that are involved in Thanos' life. And I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to the Thanos Full Story.
Okay, I'm going to leave that role. If that's fine with you guys, let me know in the comment section.
Of space is a place known as the Black Quadrant. It is the stronghold of the Black Order. Unrivaled group of mercenaries,
Right, let's put that blue on the mask.
And slave masters. Ruling over them from his tower is Corvus Glaive, master of the Black Order and ruler of the Black Quadrant. The worst of the worst bow before him, but once there was a time when he bowed before another, a tyrant that had many names. But as time passed, and the tyrant became distracted by the doings of men, and involved himself in various wars. In the tyrant's absences, Corvus had taken control, gathered an army, and took his place on the throne. He had finally become the king that he had always known that he was born to be. The Mad Titan before had ruled with fear and brutality, but Corvus, he knew how to inspire men. For all its evil, the Black Quadrant worked like a well-oiled machine under Corvus, and that is until one day when the Mad Titan returned. Upon seeing what had happened in his absence, Thanos was not happy. As he returned, he slaughtered Corvus's army, blasting away at the groups of men with little effort, and beating others with the bodies of their brothers. Thanos continued to walk towards the tower where Corvus resided, and his very steps shattered all of those who stood in his path. Once there, Thanos opened the doors to his throne room, and without Thanos saying a word, Corvus told him that he had forfeited this scepter. This now belonged to Corvus Glaive and the Black Order, and he is prepared to die for it. A slight smile comes over Thanos' face as he says, "Yes, you are." But across the galaxy, a champion goes fox hunting. Trico Slaughterous walks into a dingy bar asking the robot bartender where he is. The robot says that he isn't sure what he's talking about, and Trico grabs him asking, "Where is he?" The robot points to the back, stating in the back room, and Trico lets him go, telling him, "Thank you." He opens the door and sees a pile of bodies, all twisting and wrapping together in a voice that says, "Welcome. Aren't you a strapping fellow? Please join us. The more the merrier." Trico tells the man in the center of the room that he did not want to take part in this debauchery. His name is the man Eros, also known as the Avenger Star Fox, says that he knows exactly who he is. Not merely a champion, but the champion. Trico then says that he's been tasked with bringing him to Titan by his nephew Thane, and Thane shall not be left waiting. Back in the Black Quadrant, Corvus puts up a fight, or at the very least, he tries to. Thanos strikes him down, and Corvus yells, "You abandoned the secret! Surely you can understand that I wanted something to call my own." Thanos picks up Corvus's glaive, telling him, "I understand that you took something that did not belong to you."
That's red.
Corvus sees Thanos with his glaive, and he tells him, "You destroy it! It'll kill me, please! Show mercy." Thanos asks him, "Now you beg. Had you shown more spine..."
Oh my god, okay, that kind of works.
And at that moment, Thanos breaks the glaive. "However, you were once loyal, and that does mean something, so I won't give you a choice. You may kill yourself or let me do it. Make no mistake, this is mercy." Corvus begins to look up, and after grabbing a piece of his own broken glaive, he stabs himself with it. He then falls to the ground. Thanos then continues to walk to his throne, and he sits down, taking back what is rightfully his. Back across the galaxy, Trico brings Eros aboard his ship, and Eros asks, "Why would you of all people be working for Thane?" Trico tells him it's because his nephew has offered me the greatest challenge of all. And God help me, Thane thinks that we're going to need you to complete it. Eros then asks, "What kind of challenge could the galaxy's greatest champion be interested in?" Trico says, "It's not a matter of what, but who. Haven't you heard? Your brother has returned, and we're going to kill Thanos himself." Meanwhile, on the broken moon of Titan, Thane, the son of Thanos, looks over the destruction, waiting for Trico to arrive with those that he's been dispatched to retrieve. However, Thane is not alone, as Death has found him as well. Thane looks at Lady Death and says that he didn't hear her, and she looks out, telling him that no one ever does. Death then says, "Why is it that you look so worried?" And Thane says, "I am not as powerful as I once was. My father, he is Thanos, he is practically a god." Death smiles, stating, "You worry too much. I told you months ago that when I found you, I would take care of everything. Do you trust me?" And Thane quickly tells her, "No." And Death laughs, telling him, "I can't really blame you, but I'll tell you a secret. No one else in the universe knows. It's true, Thanos is practically a god, but the unthinkable is happening. Thanos is dying." With Thanos' condition worsening, he begins to search far and wide for remedies to cure himself. One of those efforts has brought him to the planet of Nova, a haven for the ill and the needy. The exotic plants that grow on this planet are used by many for their wondrous medicinal and healing properties. But even a planet like this, one that sees no war and pollution, can be burned to the ground when the Nolans can't explain to Thanos why he is dying. As Thanos continues to search for a cure, in another part of the galaxy, the space pirate Nebula continues to set out claiming something that does not belong to her. Just as she claims her prize, she is stopped as she runs headfirst into Eros. Eros grabs her by the arm, stating, "It's funny that I should see you here. As much as I would love to float around and catch up, my ill-tempered friend over there is rather impatient. So fancy a little trip to Titan." At that very moment, along the edge of the Shi'ar Empire, another ship lands on the tiny moon of Gilgalad. Thanos steps down from his ship, but before the guards can even finish telling him that he doesn't belong there, Thanos has already killed him. He walks into the facility with the Mentor looking back, and Thanos tells him, "Hello, father. What is the matter? Are you not pleased to see me?" Mentor gets up, spitting into Thanos' face, and Thanos laughs, wiping his face, telling him, "There are many things that I could accuse you of, but being a coward is not one of them." Mentor asks, "What are you doing here? These people are scientists. Surely even you do not have a reason to kill them." Thanos tells him, "No, these scientists mean nothing to me. What I have come here for is you. There is something wrong, and I need you to find out what it is." Mentor bursts out laughing, telling him, "You need my help. It must be true when people call you the Mad Titan. You killed your own mother, annihilated Titan and everyone on it, enslaved entire worlds. I would gladly watch my son die." Thanos then says, "I am not the only one that you will watch die today at this very moment outside of the lab. My men are destroying any means of escape, so you will do what is asked, or every scientist on this moon and their families will be murdered. And Mentor will be left alive to wade through their corpses." Back across the galaxy, Trico lands his ship and everyone steps off. Nebula says that she can't believe that she let them talk her into this. But Bane tells her that it'll be worth it. Trust him on that. Their meeting is a long time coming, so please, we have a lot to discuss. As everyone gathers around, Bane tells everyone that he has a simple request. They are going to kill Thanos. Eros laughs, telling him, "Ha! You two have your father's prodigious sense of ambition." But Nebula says that the galaxy is littered with the graves of all of those who have tried. It's a fool's errand. Trico tells them, "Just shut up and listen to what the boy has to say. Things have changed. Thanos is vulnerable." Bane continues telling them, "That's right. As unbelievable as it may sound, I have learned that my father is done, getting weaker by the day. Before he finds a cure, we must strike, which is why I have gathered all of you to lead a small surgical attack. There is something that you will all need, something from Tarax the Terrible." While Bane then goes over the plan, Mentor continues his research. And as he looks into the microscope, he says that Thanos' body is literally eating itself alive on a molecular level. He would have thought that not such a thing could be possible. It's some sort of god cancer. Thanos then asks, "How long?" And the Mentor tells him, "At this rate, I could say a couple of weeks. And even that may be generous." Thanos swings his arm, breaking some of the equipment, shouting, "No! How long until you can find a cure?" Mentor asks, "Cure? Are you serious? It would take years, even decades, to study your deviant biology and isolate the cause of this illness." Thanos then grabs Mentor, telling him, "You have proven yourself to be quite a disappointment." Mentor struggles to breathe, stating, "Disappointment? How do you think I felt after all of these years, knowing that I was the one that brought Thanos into this world? I only wish that I could have smothered you in your grave. At least it would have been by my own hands that I had ended you." Thanos stares at Mentor and he says, "For the first time in your pathetic life, you actually sound like my father." Thanos pulls his arm back and he punches through the Mentor's body, tossing him to the ground, to die alone in pain. As he walks back out of the facility, he sees his men scattered on the ground and then he's shot. As several Shi'ar Metaguards fly down, telling Thanos that he is under arrest by the authority of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. Stand down or die. As the guards all begin to attack, Thanos smacks them away, stating, "You should have not intervened. What happened here is none of your concern. It is a family affair." Flashfire fires down, blasting Thanos, stating, "That is wrong. This moon is under our protection." And as Flashfire gets close, Thanos punches him and tells him what inadequate protection it is. He then grabs Smasher, telling him that he will give him one chance to retreat, one chance to save his life. Smasher then says, "There's just one thing. It's not just us down here." And as Thanos turns his head, he begins to see more of the Imperial Guards flying his way. Thanos turns to look at everyone and he starts to groan. Just then, Neutron begins beating into Thanos, reporting that Thanos can't take much more of this. Oracle tells everyone to not let their guard down. They cannot possibly defeat Thanos one-on-one. But as the attacks continue, the Imperial Guards begin to notice something, that Thanos is bleeding. But before he has the chance to get back up, another large down to grab him. And as the guard's hand gets closer, Thanos grabs his finger and snaps it, yelling, "You will not lay a hand on me! I have slain gods! I am Thanos!" Thanos begins to blast everyone, easily defeating all of the Imperial Guard. And that's when Smasher reports that they are losing control. They need to send in a big gun. Soon the guards begin to regroup and focus their attacks on Thanos to keep him in place, but through the smoke and the fire, a voice can be heard stating, "That will be enough." Thanos looks back to see Gladiator and he says, "You." Gladiator tells him, "Me." He punches Thanos across the battlefield, then he flies over, and just as Thanos' body hits the ground, he says, "Thanos of Titan, you are now the prisoner of the Shi'ar Imperium. Pick him up and bring him to prison." However, as the story continues, it is important to note what happened 8 months earlier. 8 months ago, Thane sought to claim the Black Quadrant from Corvus with the aid of the Ebony Maw. When Thane attacked, Maw told him that is right. This was once his father's stronghold, but now it can be his legacy. It can be his birthright. While Corvus himself joined the battle, Thane was facing off with Corvus' new secret weapon, the Coven. As Thane tried to fight them, the Coven drained Thane of his powers and he was taken prisoner. A month passed with Thane in a cell until it was finally opened, only to have Trico thrown in with him. Another month passed and Thane and Trico became friends, so much so that they would often play dice to entertain themselves. One day Corvus saw them playing games and told them that this is a place of suffering, not for making friends. So Thane was sent to the hole where he waited for months alone in the dark. While surviving only on the rats that he could capture and eat, Thane started to think that he may be losing his mind, and that wasn't until a voice called out to him stating that they can help. And that's when she appeared before him, Lady Death. Thane asked who she was, and Death whispered that he already knows the answer to that. She is the death of everyone.
Should I
But she has not
use
come to claim him. She has come to
pencils
set him
or
free,
should
to
I
set him
use
free
pens
from his
now?
terrible burden. She offered to help him find
Got colour in the
but her only
blue
request
with
was
the
that he
yellow
would
and the
help.
pencil.
Thane stood there taking
Not that one.
Thane's hand, but before they had left, Thane said that there was something that he had
Wait,
to do. Thane
who
ran
got?
over to his old cell where Trico was held, and he found him still locked up. Trico asked if it's really him.
do have this one, so I could probably use some of that now.
He's honestly not sure himself. But if he really wants to be a champion, he has a chance to kill a god, which brings
Maybe
us
some of
to
that.
the current time. Thane tells everyone that he has gathered them here for a reason. They'll spend the rest of their lives wasting away in a brothel or drifting off in space, or they could be something more. Eros asks if they were to agree to this madness. How does he propose that the
Looking for the colours
Thane
of Captain
says they would need
America. I
something
mean, I
from
can't
Terrax
remember
to
actually
Trico
on
and
his
himself have some
belly
very
there.
solid intel.
Thor
Now,
was,
one of
I don't
Thanos'
even
old
think Thor's the right
lieutenants
colour.
in custody of Terrax
That's why it's staying as
with the
pencil at the minute
lieutenants,
before I
they
put
can
ink
access
down.
the Black Quadrant's back door.
There we go.
Thane then looks at Eros and tells him that he will be the diplomatic distraction. Keep Terrax busy while Nebula and Trico break into
Okay, so it's all white there.
Nebula then says, "Okay."
It's all white then. I've got it all white.
Why do they
Let's get rid of that then.
Thane says, "Me? I'm the one with the plan. I'm the leader." Eros begins to laugh, telling him, "I think not. No nephew of mine is going to be my leader." But while everyone laughs, Death walks up, wrapping her arms around Thane, telling him, "Let them have their fun. Soon you will be the only one laughing. They are so
Right,
close.
let's find
that these
picture
people are
Thor
only
now.
pawns. Now see what is to come." As Thane blinks, his vision begins to change to the events of 1 week in the future. Death and himself standing over Thanos' smoldering body, while Eros and Nebula's bodies float lifelessly around them. A short while after Thane's vision, his plan was put into motion as Terrax the Terrible gets word that a ship is approaching their vessel, requesting permission to come on board. Terrax watches the monitor as the ship gets closer, and he asks who would be so bold as to seek an audience with Terrax. The officer tells him that the person requesting is Eros of Titan. Terrax makes for the hangar, and just as he gets close, Eros steps up, telling him, "Hello!"
Okay, so I am in the right colours.
Terrax
That's
asks
good.
them directly, "What is the meaning of this? We have no
I don't think it does
so tell
need
me
a
what
bit
reason I
something.
should shoot you where you stand." Eros tells him, "There's no need for such dramatics. I come on a diplomatic mission, so please tell everyone to lower their weapons." As Terrax begins to lead Eros into the ship, there's a crew aboard Eros' ship, and that's one of the containers.
Okay, right.
Thane, Trico, and Nebula
How am I gonna do
all
this?
begin to make their way towards the ship's holding cells. As Thane's plan begins to unfold, Thanos himself begins to open up his eyes, finding himself in one of the Shi'ar super maximum prisons. As the door opens, Warden Dak walks in laughing, stating that he never thought that he would see the day that the Mad Titan was under his control. Dak removes the containment field, holding Thanos down, and steps in, stating that he only regrets that he wasn't the one who was here to break him. So what is it that he was thinking about?
That's hands.
Suddenly Thanos' eyes open and he tells him, "I wasn't thinking about anything. Only waiting.
What is he wearing?
Waiting for you." He leans up, grabbing Dak by the
nothing.
armor with a hard jerk. He rips it off. As
I
Dak
was right.
cries out in pain, Thanos says that he knew it was only a matter of time when a weak men like you would try to make yourself feel bigger than you actually were. He takes the arm and uses it to open up the cell door, but then he sees another force field in his way. He walks to the force field and through sheer will pushes himself through it as it burns his body. Once out, two guards run up shouting for him to stop, and Thanos grabs the gun from one guard and knocks him back into the force field. Then taking the gun, Thanos uses it to stab the second guard, and then he begins to make his way outside. He grabs his helmet and then he looks out, and he sees an army of guards all standing there, and he sighs. Fine, let us begin. Back over at Terrax's warship, Trico and Nebula find their way to the ship's cells, while Eros continues to talk circles around Terrax. Terrax tells him that he's beginning to think that he's using his silver tongue to deceive him. And Eros says, "Haha, you're a sharp one. Actually, I wasn't here to deceive you. I was only here to distract you." Terrax asks him, "What do you mean?" And Trico punches his way into the lieutenant's cell as the alarm goes off, with Eros stating, "A distraction
Okay,
from
so there's the colours I was unsure about.
It's
yellow down.
Tells him that there's something else that he's been dying to do, and he blasts Terrax and his men with a blast of lightning, knocking everyone to the ground. Over with Thane and the others, Trico pulls the cell door open, asking, "What in the blazes is this?" Thane pushes past him, stating that he's sorry that he had to deceive them. They would never have helped him if he told them what Terrax really had. Nebula asks, "What have you done?" And Thane smiles, stating that I have found the only thing that will give me the power I need to destroy my father. Death then says, "Not just Thanos, my love. With the Phoenix Force, we'll kill everyone." Sitting before them is the egg of the Phoenix. Nebula stares at the egg and then asks if he even knows what this thing is, what this thing can do. And as Thane gets closer to the egg, he says, "I know exactly what this is. This power was taken from me, but this Phoenix egg will give me back everything that I lost." Trico's face turns to disgusted, and he says, "You used us. I will rip your spine out for this." Thane tells him, "I'm sorry, but I had no other choice. There's no way that I could have gotten this without your powers." Nebula pulls out her gun, stating that that is enough. He is not opening the egg. And then pulls the trigger. The gun goes off, hitting Thane in his chest, and as Thane's body falls back onto the egg, Eros runs in shouting, "What just happened?" Trico tells him that the little tricked them. It was after the Phoenix egg the whole time. Seconds later, Terrax runs in yelling that the egg belongs to him. "Stand down or he will vaporize all of them." Trico gets ready to fight, but Eros stops, stating, "Wait, this has all been a big misunderstanding. I'm sure that if we look deep down in our hearts," and Terrax yells, "Not again! The Phoenix egg is mine. I've been working on opening it for months, and now I will not allow any of you to live to talk about it." Nebula says, "Does he really think that he can take us? He's welcome to try, but there's no way that we're going to let him get his hands on this kind of power." Death then tells them that they would not be able to open it anyway. Do they not see? Do they not realize that for the Phoenix to rise, there must first be death and then rebirth? As soon as Death says that, Thane's eyes begin to glow as the power of the Phoenix egg brings him back to life. And then there's an explosion. Meanwhile, back in the Shi'ar prison, Thanos begins to breathe heavy while he looks at all of the fallen prison guards. Thanos begins to walk towards the exit, and as he does, he stumbles, feeling his strength slowly beginning to fade. He tries to open up the door, but the computer tells him access denied, and he tries again, getting the same result. Thanos yells as he punches the doors open, allowing himself to leave. And once outside, the sirens all go off, and an alert is played over the intercom, telling everyone that there has been a security breach, preparing for self-destruct. Soon the remaining guards begin to run towards the escape ships, and Thanos grabs one by the leg, throwing him to the side. He sits down on the ship as the intercom begins its countdown, and just as he manages to start the ship and leave, the entire prison explodes. Hours begin to pass, and then days, precious days that Thanos does not have time to spare. Finally, drifting around in space for so long, Thanos' ship makes its way to the Black Quadrant, and it lands just outside of his stronghold. What he sees is not what he expected. All of his armies and mercenaries dead, littered around the base. However, even with his kingdom raised, there's nothing compared to what Thanos is about to face. And after feeling a presence behind him, he turns to see Thane, wielding the power of the Phoenix Force. Thane begins to gather his power, and Death tells him to do it. And Thanos looks at Death, asking, "What have you done?" Death looks at him, stating that she has found someone worthy of her love, someone worthy to rule by her side. Thanos then asks, "Were you the one who did this? Are you the one who made me ill?" And she tells him, "Of course. I wanted to make sure that you were ready for what's to come next." Thanos yells to Thane, "Whatever she promised you is a lie. She cannot be trusted." Thane begins to gather his power, asking, "Where was your advice and wisdom when I needed it? When you abandoned me? We could have done so much together." Death whispers to do it. "Do it now. Take what belongs to you." And Thanos shouts, "Don't do this. Do not listen to her." Thane then takes all the power that he's gathered and releases several blasts into Thanos, telling him, "Too late." At the spot where Thanos stands burned, Death then asks, "Did he?" And Thane says no. He's gone, but Thanos is no longer a threat. As Thane pushes the doors to the throne room open, Death says maybe not, but now he has power. Real power. The rest of the universe will start to come after him. Thane takes his place on the throne, simply telling her, let them feel the wrath of King And Death then asks, what of your father Thanos? The Thane tells her, there are worse things than even you. Let Thanos see what was cast aside. Let him scrounge for food in the gutters like a dog. Let him be powerless. Let the mad Titan see what it's like to be nothing more than mortal. As the winds blow over the ruins of Titan, there's a calming silence that covers the city. But even through that silence, the cry of a slaughtered creature can be heard. The scavenger looks down at its kill, and once the rat stops moving, he picks it up under his arm and he heads back to his dingy makeshift hut. As the scavenger puts the rat on the spit, he takes off his robes to reveal that he is the man once known as the World Destroyer, Thanos. He takes the rat from the spit and begins to bite, tearing off its parts until all that's left are bones. And just as one scavenger claimed another, there's another that seeks to claim Thanos. He hears the scurrying of something in the hut, and as he grabs his spear, a giant rat screeches at him. He throws his spear, but the giant rat lunges, causing the spear to only graze its shoulder. Once the rat gets close, it bites down onto Thanos' wrist, forcing him to the ground. He reaches out, grabbing a rock, and then with one strong blow, he bashes it into the rat's head, knocking it away. The rat begins to twitch on the ground, and taking that same rock, Thanos lifts it above his head, and that's when a loud thunk can be heard. The rock comes down. With the rat's head completely obliterated, Thanos sits down against the giant rat's body, and he looks at where the rat had bitten him. After wrapping it up the best that he can, he lays down for the night, and as he does, he starts to notice things are getting darker. He looks over at the fire to see that it's burning out, and with no source of heat, Thanos is forced to sleep through the cold. Soon the days start to come and go, and with no source of food, he turns to the only thing that he can eat, the giant rat. But with no fire, he can't cook it, so every time that he eats, he ends up vomiting it back up. More days begin to pass, and as Thanos begins to set out for more food, he collapses, weak from not being able to keep anything down, and the infection in his arm. As he barely picks himself back up, he hears someone behind him, and two more scavengers appear, telling him that this is their territory, and he's not supposed to be here. Thanos asks, your territory? This is my world. One of the scavengers kicks Thanos to the ground, telling him that they will give him one last chance to walk away. And Thanos asks, do you even know who I am? I am Thanos. The second scavenger cracks Thanos over the head, telling him, yeah, sure. And people call me the legendary Star-Lord. The two take turns beating down on Thanos until he stops moving, and they begin to rummage through his knapsack. The first scavenger notices Thanos' helmet and says that this can't really be Thanos, can it? The two stare at each other for a moment, and then they start laughing as they go back to kicking Thanos. But just then a spotlight shines down on him, and the two scavengers decide to run while they have something to show for their troubles. Thanos slowly begins to get back up, and he notices the spotlight is coming down from a ship that is coming in awfully close. He begins to run, but in his weakened state, he doesn't get very far before tripping over himself. And the ship then lands close by as a voice tells him that he has to say, I've seen you in much better days. Thanos looks back to see his brother Eros and with him Trico and Nebula. Eros says that he can't believe that he's saying this, but Thanos, we need your help to save the universe. Just a few days ago, the small planet of Flivok 6 rallied their forces once word of Thane's rise began to spread. Flivok 6 is known for having the largest standing army across the galaxy, one that many fear. But just as they gathered together to take on Thane, it only takes him seconds to destroy them and their planet. Thanos groans, asking, why are you telling me this? And Eros says that it's because we need your help in killing your son. Nebula yells, no! The only reason why I agreed to come here was to kill Thanos while he was still weak. Nebula punches Thanos to the ground, and Trico grabs her, stating that this is not the time. After kicking Trico in the groin, Nebula tells him to never put his hands on her again. As he falls to the ground, Nebula takes out her knife. She begins to walk towards Thanos. Eros, holding out his hand, using his power of manipulation, tells Nebula that she does not want to do that. She suddenly stops, stating that she doesn't. Thanos wipes the blood from his mouth, stating not to fall for his brother's tricks. He's using his power over you. Nebula spins back, pointing her knife at Eros, stating that if he ever uses his power again, Eros looks at Thanos, asking, what? Am I supposed to let her kill you? Thane said that you were... Well, I just never expected you to be so. Thanos asks, mortal? Thane gets up, stating, my son is in league with Lady Death herself. She is the cause for my illness and the reason for Thane to obtain the Phoenix Force. Trico begins to get back up, stating that Thane tricked them as well. They were supposed to, kill him, but he was after that damned egg the whole time. Thanos then asks, if you wanted me to dispose of Thane and I took his power, what would stop me from killing the three of you? Eros shrugs, stating, brotherly love? Look, these are desperate times, and Thane is just getting started. Thane has obtained the power of a god, and it will take the power of a god to stop him. Thanos asks, so you all allied with my son in an attempt to kill me, and now you're switching sides? And Arrows and Nebula state, yeah, pretty much. Trico yells, this was all a waste of time. Thanos doesn't even have power anymore. And Thanos tells him, what was once lost can be found again. We'll go and find the Cosmic Coven, the three that are one, the Witches of Infinity. Arrows says, wait, the witches? You must really be mad. They're just a myth, surely. And Thanos tells him, no, they are very much real. When I possess the Infinity Gems, I could sense their presence out there, on the edges of the universe. The Cosmic Coven is very real. They are the gatekeepers of the gods. Arrows tells him, well, if they all are real, then so are the stories. So to strike a deal with the witches would cost you your very soul. Thanos turns back and tells him, I lost my soul a long time ago. Run. As Thanos boards Nebula's ship, she yells at him, stating that they're only going to go when she says that they will go. And Thanos tells her, fine, you can decide. Either you leave me here to die along with the rest of the universe, or you fix my arm and take me to the Coven to regain my power so that I can kill my ungrateful son. But as an unlikely alliance begins to form, another alliance made of war fleets from both the Shi'ar Empire and the Spartans fly ever closer to the Black Quadrant. Thane and Death look up at the lights coming from the fleets, and Death says that they are coming, my love. And Thane tells her, I know, and they're going to keep coming until I'm dead. But I can't help but feel that this isn't right. Death whispers that he feels that he has unfinished business with his father, and Thane tells her, yes. Stripping him of his power and casting him away, that's not enough. Death brings Thane closer and tells him, we will go to Titan and end him once and for all. But first, they come. Thane begins to gather up his powers, and he flies up stating, of course, their lives will be yours. But back with Thanos and the others, Trico says that they are passing through uncharted space. Are they sure that this is the correct coordinates? And Thanos tells them, I already said that I sensed them when I had the Infinity Gems. I sensed the witches out here in the blackest parts of space. 6 all-knowing eyes staring back at me. Trico then asks, how are the witches supposed to help them? And Arrow says that if the fables are true, the witches are said to be older than the gods. When the power of a god fades, it is these enchantresses of eternity that collect these old gods. It is said that they feed on their souls and disperse their power back into the cosmos. Just then the alarms begin to go off, and Nebula says that this is a bad idea. They're getting pulled into a black hole. Thanos grabs a space helmet and says, we're exactly where we need to be. I'm going to go into that black hole, and you shall wait for my return. Eros grabs a helmet, telling Thanos that if they are really in the right spot, he cannot be trusted to go alone. Eros then looks back and says, the two of them will stay here, and if we don't return or contact is lost, then you two must leave. And Nebula says, no arguments with that. Thanos and Eros leave the ship, and they drift closer to the black hole as it starts to pull them in. And something feels wrong, very wrong. The two are thrown down onto solid ground, and just as they take off their helmets, a voice calls out to them. It asks, 2 brothers come to see 3 sisters. Welcome to the end of all things, sons of Titan. Welcome to the inverted world. Welcome to the God Quarry. Thanos looks down into the hole, filled with skeletons, asking, what is this God Quarry? All I see is a graveyard. I came seeking the power that you are sent to hold. Now answer before your tongues are ripped out through your mouths. The witches tell them that he is in no position to do anything of the sort. He is not only weak, but impotent. Just as Thanos gets ready to do something, though, Arrow steps in front of him and says that they should probably try a gentler approach. She tells the witches that there is an imbalance in the universe. His unstable nephew has the Phoenix Force, and what Thanos here seeks is the return of his powers to stop him. Now, they would be more than willing to help them in any way that they can, right? The witches ask if he's trying to use his power to manipulate the Sisters of Eternity. And together the 3 witches begin to electrocute Eros. Meanwhile, back on Titan, Thane looks around and finds that Thanos is nowhere to be found. He yells to Death that they should have killed him when they had the chance. Now he's escaped, and Death tells him that Thanos is not a threat to them anymore. The universe is theirs if they want it. It's only a matter of time before the heroes of Earth come. So let them go there now and let the 6 billion souls of Earth sing her name. As Death goes on, Thane looks over and yells that whoever is there show themselves. The scavengers from before poke out, stating that they don't mean any harm. Please, just let them go. And Thane looks at the one wearing Thanos' helmet, asking where he got that. Where did Thanos go? The scavengers as well, a ship with 3 people came. One was a blue alien girl, a big dumb-looking guy with lots of hair, and another guy wore a fancy red suit with fancy hair. They argued for a while, then the 4 of them took off. Thane looks back at Death and tells her that they were wrong to underestimate. It is time that they do what he wants now, and what he wants is to kill him. Before Thane leaves, he turns back and tells the scavenger wearing the helmet to give it to him. The scavenger runs up, handing it over, stating that he meant no harm. Thane takes the helmet and smiles as he puts it on. Back outside the black hole, Trico shouts that he's getting bored just sitting here. It's been hours! Sitting around picking my teeth is not a mission befitting of my talents. Nebula thinks about it for a moment and then says, well, we can see what other talents the champion of the universe has. Trico sits there asking, what do you... Oh, well, I suppose we could. As Nebula begins to take off her belt, she tells him to do her a favor and just stop talking. Back inside the black hole, the witches continue striking Eros down, telling him that he is so vain, perhaps a hex will teach him this in humility as an order. The lightning begins to fade, and as Eros gets up, he rapidly starts to age, and he shouts, no, please, anything but this! The witches wave their hands, removing the hex, telling him next time he thinks about using his powers of manipulation, remember how he begged. Eros stands up, stating that he is humbled by them, and Thanos begins to laugh. Eros asks, oh, did I amuse you? And then he jumps up, kicking Thanos in the face. As Thanos falls, Eros jumps on him, punching and shouting, I've lived my whole life in the shadow of your evil. Can you possibly know what it's like to be the brother of a demon? Thanos continues laughing, telling him, if you had shown more moxie, I may have had more respect for you. The witches then laugh, stating that they make their squabbles look rather pale in comparison. Thanos gets back up, stating that he's had enough of this. They know full well why he has come, and he seeks his full power back. The witches tell him that he is correct, that they are the caretakers of the dead and forgotten gods present here. But the quarry still holds all of his power. They are not the ones to give back that power. It all depends on him. The quarry gives or takes. Those who enter it willingly face a trial for their very soul. Should he pass, the power that he seeks will be his. However, should he fail, he will join the other deities who are now frozen for eternity in the quarry's ageless walls. Over in Nebula's ship, Trico and Nebula lay on the bed, and Trico says that he did not see that coming. Nebula gets up, getting dressed, telling him to not get used to it. That was a one-time thing. And when they get back, remember, this never happened. Just then, the alarms go off, and as they run to the monitors, they see something flying towards them at an alarming rate. As the screen comes on, they see Thane, and Trico says, oh, crap! Down on the god quarry. The witches ask Thanos, what will it be? Will he enter the quarry? And Thanos yells that he has come too far not to, and he begins to climb down into the pit. He uses the bones of the gods that have already attempted it, and Thanos feels his body being pulled into the walls. He shouts, what is this trickery? But as he finishes, his body becomes frozen, just like the other gods. The witches state that there is no trickery. The quarry has him now. His trial is just beginning. As Thanos' vision begins to fade, he opens his eyes to see something that he never thought that he would see. He sees himself calling out to the Avengers to assemble. As a monster throws Sam Wilson, Thanos begins to tell the other Avengers to pull back and take care of the wounded. Sam gets up and says that he's really glad to see him. And Thanos tells him, take it easy, I'll handle this Cregan. As Thanos turns back, he blasts the monster away, shouting that no one will harm Thanos' friends. But while Thanos lives his life as an Avenger back in space, Nebula begins to power up the ship, stating that they need to get out of here if they could just get into light speed. But just as the ship begins to make that jump, Thane flies by and Nebula asks, how is he keeping pace with them? He begins to release a blast through her ship, forcing the two to make a crash landing onto an uncharted planet. As they tumble out of the ship, Trico grabs one of the ship's guns and he opens fire on Thane, shouting, you used us! Thane deflects the bullet, telling him, yes, I did. That's all you're good for. As Thane's hand touches the barrel of the gun, it begins to melt, and Thane grabs Trico by the neck, stating that he will give him one last chance to live. Where is my father? Back in Thanos' trial, he stands in the Avengers Tower watching his new friends all over the world. And Sam asks, all quiet, boss? Thanos says that it would seem to be so. The abomination today was the only threat that needed to be dealt with. Sam tells him, yep, and the West Coast team just checked in. All good over there. And Star Fox and the Cosmic Avengers checked in as well. Thanos asks him, Star Fox? And Sam says, yep, it's all clear out there. Star Fox, Groot, and Star-Lord are heading back home to a base on Titan. But as Thanos hears this, he begins to say that something doesn't feel right. Like I've forgotten something very important. Suddenly, all of the monitors begin to change to images of Thanos killing people. And Sam tells them, you have. Thanos yells, witches of infinity! The God Quarry! That is what this is! And Sam says, yes, but it can be. Thanos says, what do you mean? And Sam goes on telling him, I mean this. You could be the greatest man who ever lived. You could be happy, at peace, and all you have to do is stay. Thanos turns away, and after a few moments, he bursts out laughing. Is this it? Is this how you're going to tempt me? This is my great trial. Being offered a chance at goodness? Sam tells him, no, we tempt you with a very chance for peace. True peace. Thanos looks at Sam and he asks, don't you see? I know exactly who I am. I am Thanos, and I made peace with that long, long ago. Thanos takes his hand and he claps them together, crushing Sam's head. Next, Thanos rips the doors off the next room and he opens fire, decimating the rest of the Avengers, yelling, I am Thanos, the world killer, Thanos the destroyer, and I have power. Back in the quarry, the statue of Thanos that was frozen begins to crack, and from it, Thanos breaks free, shouting. Eros quickly reaches down to help Thanos up, asking what happened, and Thanos tells him, I believe I owe you this. And suddenly a powerful blast shoots upwards, blowing Eros away, and as he lands, he yells, but it helps you! And Thanos tells him, shut up, you are nothing to me. And he releases another blast into Eros. Thanos then looks back at the witches, telling them that their trial was pathetic, and they ask, was it? It seemed to be exactly what was needed. You got exactly what you wanted. The witches open up a portal for Thanos to leave, and they ask, what would you do next? What do you think? I'm going to kill that insolent pup. Back over at the uncharted planet, Trico struggles for air, yelling that the power is messing with his head. This isn't who he is! And Death tells Thane to do it, to kill Trico and give him to her. Do it! Nebula springs out with her gun pointed at Death, asking, where did you come from? And Death tells her, I'm everywhere. And everyone, including you. Thane tightens his grip, asking again, where is Thanos? And Thanos lands on Thane, telling him, right here, boy. Thane gets up asking, will you finally face me? And Thanos laughs, telling him, I will wipe you from this world like the accident that you are. I am Thanos, and I have returned. Without saying another word, the two scream as they charge at each other, punching into each other's face. The strength from the blows causes a massive explosion, knocking back both Trico and Nebula. But as Thanos and Thane fight with powers equal to gods, Death watches them and smiles. All of this destruction pleases her, for it is she who manipulated these events, and as for why she did all of this, only she knows. Thanos grabs one of the stone pillars, throwing it down on Thane, telling him, you are such a sniveling disappointment of a son. And the two gods continue to punch each other over and over, each with a force to shake the entire planet. Just as Thanos begins to gain an upper hand, Thane catches the punch and knocks Thanos so hard that he is launched into space. As Thane flies up to get him, Thanos catches his punch, laughing, you have no idea the power that I wield. Thanos pulls back his arm, punching into Thane with enough power to rocket him back down to the planet and deep below its crust. Thanos then follows up right behind him, charging into him with enough force to shoot the both of them through the planet and out the other side. There's a moment of silence as Thane floats in space, but not letting up on his attacks. Thanos grabs a piece of the planet, hurling it at Thane. As the debris gets closer, Thane lunges back into Thanos, and the two head straight back into the god quarry. Trico and Nebula, who have just been trying to get away, are then sucked into the black hole shortly after Thane knocks Thanos into it.
Just give you a close-up while I'm doing it, guys. I've used the pencils, as you can see. Let's pause that playlist as well.
Isn't going to want to miss this.
So we're at the 52 minutes, and that's normally about an hour. Generally, I'll get done. But you've seen I've coloured the whole thing in pencil, giving it a base layer for the shading and the lighter tones that I want to be using. I'm now going to be going in with the darker tones and using my felt tips, my Copic marker brush pens. Again, if you don't know what brush pen is, it's one of these, and it's basically a paintbrush with Copic marker in. Copic marker isn't a normal ink. It is made from alcoholic based, and it will soak in really well, and it will blend really well. But these pens are getting really low, so that's why I'll be using some of these felt tips as well, just for the other places, just especially for the thinner areas that I know that the pen's not going to touch. Let me know if you're liking the playlist in the background, guys, because I've got more. I could listen to a Captain America if you wish, as we are drawing that out at the moment, or I could carry on listening to Thanos and see where that leads, because it's something similar to what Thanos would have been experiencing before Thor went for the head. Thank you very much for those comments over there on Instagram. Yeah, hopefully you are enjoying yourself, guys. There will be more of this, but we will be digitizing it as always. You're one of my few viewers. Thank you very much, bud. Right, like I said, we're going to use some color. I might add. I'm going to be obviously adding a load more color when I color this in on the digital format. Yeah, this is just basically scruff and scratch and see what I can do with my pens. Shading I can put. I need red. That's what I need. Okay, let's get on.
It will be the final battle of the father and son at the edge of the universe. A reckoning is at hand. Thane starts to look around, asking, what is this place? And the witches tell him, this is the God Quarry, the place where gods are made and undone. What shall it be for you? One of the witches stops, asking, do you not smell it? He is not alone. And the next one says, yes, the phoenix is with him. And that old bird has no place here. The three witches focus their lightning on Thane, and just as it hits, the phoenix force is ripped out of his body. The phoenix caws as it flies away, and the witches tell it, off you go, tweet, tweet. Now the boy must face the cosmic coven as the man that he really is. Thane looks at himself, and then Thanos adds, that is not the only thing that you must face. You must also face your maker. With a loud thoom, Thanos punches into Thane so hard that it knocks out his teeth. But while Thanos is dealing with Thane, Nebula tries to wake up Trico, and he asks, what the hell is this place? Nebula tells him that she has no freaking idea, but it's probably somewhere bad. And just as she says that, Eros lifts his head up, stating, it's nice of you guys to finally show up. Nebula runs over asking what happened to him, and Eros says, what do you think Thanos happened? Thanos then begins to pick Thane up by his head, telling him, you aren't so brave without the Phoenix Force, are you? Thane begins to beg for him not to do it, and Thanos reaches up, grabbing the helmet, asking, you beg now. Moments ago, you claimed that you were going to kill me, but there's no need to beg. I have no intention of killing you. And Thane asks, will he be spared? Thanos tells him, spared? Oh no, there are things worse than death. Is this not what you said to me when you stripped the power from me and cast me on the Titan? I've endured the God Quarry to find out exactly who I am, and for the son who never knew who he was, you will most likely be in living hell. Thanos releases Thane over the God Quarry, and as Thane grabs onto one of his arms sticking out of the wall, he shouts, I'm sorry, please, no, but soon he fade as his entire body freezes over and turns to stone. Thanos scoffs, telling Thane, goodbye, you were nothing but an embarrassment. Before Thanos can even walk away, Death tells him, well done, and Thanos tells her, you. The witches all float towards Death, telling her that it's been a while since they've seen her here. But she has no business here. Death says of course she does. Thanos is her business. She sent his son after him so that Thanos would become the man that she longed for. She was the one who made him ill. She knew that he would overcome it and rebuild himself to become great once again, and then he would be worthy once again of her love. Thanos smacks her hand away, telling her that she is right about one thing. I did rebuild myself, and now I no longer need or want your love. The witches all start to surround Death, stating that it seems that her business has ended. Perhaps she should be on her way. They then cast their magic, banishing Death from the quarry. And Thanos asks, is she? The witches tell him, dead? You should know better than that. You can never kill Death. Only delay her from returning so soon. Behind all of them, Trico and Nebula hold Eros up, and Eros says, well, he's won yet again. And Thanos asks, was there any doubt? Nebula tells them that she would think so, especially how they found him crawling around eating rats back on Titan. Thanos asks, and what? I'm supposed to be grateful of the three of you? Are you to be allies? No. Thanos has no friends. Thanos needs no family. You can all rot here for all I care. With that, he jumps back up through the black hole, disappearing. Nebula looks around and sees the witches disappearing as well and asks, what are they supposed to do now? Trico yells, no fear! I am the champion of the universe and I will find a way out. And Nebula just sighs. Across the galaxy on the moon that was once the home of the most fearsome mercenaries and soldiers, now stands a graveyard that would be a fitting place to start all over again. Thanos lands down and begins to walk towards his throne, ready to rebuild what he once lost. Thanos is the destroyer. Thanos is the king, and all shall know him and fear him, for Thanos has returned. All across the universe, there are beings with powers that most would agree are the mightiest beings in all of existence. But whether these beings are big or small, they all know that someday everyone and everything will die. On their lips, they all whisper the same exact thing. Thanos wins. But at this current time across space, at Chitauri Prime, the Chitauri sit in their arena, watching in awe at the sight before them. The defeat of one of their best warriors at the hands of Thanos. Thanos steps down onto the head of the warrior, asking, who is your king? And the warrior says it is him. Thanos calls him a liar. And the warrior yells, it is true. He is king, please give me. But before the warrior could finish, the sound of a head being squashed under Thanos' mighty boot can be heard. And he says, kings do not beg. The Chitauri in the stands all begin to cheer. They shout Thanos' name as he takes his newly claimed throne. But Thanos is not impressed. Just then, one of the Chitauri appear from behind the throne, stating that his name is. But before he could finish, Thanos tells him, no one. The Chitauri says that if that pleases him, just let him say that the soldiers that he was so merciful enough to let live are now under his full and uncontested command. And with that said, he is curious if, but before he can even finish, Thanos grabs the Chitauri by the head, slamming him into the throat, asking, "What the hell do you want?" The Chitauri struggles to lift his head up, asking if it would be possible if he was to tell his god to stop killing. Thanos stares for a moment and then throws the Chitauri back, asking, "You're what?" The Chitauri does not stand and he points up, asking, "Do you not know? It appeared out of nowhere and it's been destroying our defenses faster than even you could." As the sky soon begins to rain blood, Thanos smiles. A new challenger for him to conquer has appeared, and that challenge is headed straight for him. Up in the sky, the cosmic Ghost Rider laughs as he shoots and
I
destroys
can't
all
wait
the
to do this
Chitauri on his
digitally.
way,
Oh, I
while
can't
he
wait.
makes his way down to Chitauri Prime.
It's going to be
This
so much
Ghost
fun.
Rider, though, most have never heard of, partly
And all this
because
lightning
he is
in
a
as well.
former herald of Galactus, and now he is the right hand of the Final King. The Final King is also
Get the
the name no one's
scratch
ever heard
paper
of,
done.
mainly because this Ghost Rider comes
Yeah,
from
I've got to get
the
the scruff
Ghost Rider tears
rough
his way through the land and into
type
the arena,
first
and then he
done
hops off
before
waving
we can
at
get
Thanos.
any
Hey, Thanos looks down at the Ghost Rider, and the Ghost Rider pats
digital
his
work
seat,
done.
stating,
Got to know what I'm
"He has
drawing
come a long
before
way,
I
Thanos
draw it.
continues to look at Ghost Rider, smiling. Ghost Rider tells him, shit. You're gonna want to fight, huh?" Thanos steps down from his throne, telling the Ghost Rider, "You can go tell Mephisto that if he wanted an audience with Thanos, he should have sent." And Ghost Rider stops him. "Oh, no. I haven't been to hell in, forever. Look, can you just come with me peacefully? Killing you would really
No, I'm going to have a
mess up
slap
the
in my
timing."
coffee.
Thanos blasts the Ghost Rider right, telling him, "Die." But at that same instant, Thanos finds himself wrapped up in the Ghost Rider's chain. Before Thanos can even blink, Ghost Rider tells him that these chains are forged from the bones of sin, and don't even bother trying to break them. Secondly,
Listen
I
to the
also
story.
want this at the time scope, so if you want to screw around and start throwing lasers, this is what's actually...
Lasers! Okay. We've hit an hour. I think I'm pretty much done. Other than a bit of red here and there. I keep seeing more, I always do. Let's grab that red out a minute. Grab my other red. Quickly show you what I've been doing with this. You can see it in close up, but as you can see here, my red is really running out. It gives you a very defined line, these brush pens. And if they weren't so running out, I would have definitely gone over the whole piece with them. But they are really good, as you can see. So just adding in that shadowy background to what you've already put on the pencil. Like that. Yeah, once it dries in, hopefully that'll look a lot better, but let's go back to that one. It's running out, so I can't use that loads that much of it. Same as this one, bloody thing's running out. You just add just in the corners without going around the whole thing, keeping that shade that you've already put there. Sorry, no, the light that you keep in there, not the shade. You're adding the shade now. Like that. I'm going to go ahead and do all the red on every piece because everything's had a lick. And it just makes things pop a little bit more. Ever slightly putting bits and bobs everywhere. Let's give you another close up of what I'm doing. There goes a bit of Lego. Pick that up before I stand on it. Yes, I will. See what I just added on the glove here. Just ever so slightly fits in there. So we'll start adding little bits here. As well. It's actually a nice colour. I might keep that really like close. That looks like he's got blood down him. I'm gonna have to colour it all in. That's not a problem though. Looks right. Doesn't look too bad. What colour is A? Is it? I think it's white, isn't it? It stays white. Yeah. Give this an outline. I'll go mental. Now, so it shows that the shade, the darker areas of this side. Yeah, he's running out. I can feel the pen not connecting, not even nothing coming off other than me rubbing the felt. I hate felt. It's horrible. Yuck. Yeah, you can always see it's running out. I can only put shady parts on. I really need to go and get some more pens. I'm looking for some Copic markers at the moment, some nice ones. I've seen a few reviews on them on Draw Jazza and his own art pack and stuff. It looks like I only need a selection of colours to be able to blend, and that's really what I want to start with next. Instead of using these felt tips, because they're really starting to do my head in. We'll put the shading in there, not loads, but again, the pen's running out, so I can only do what I can do. It's not looking too badly. Do colour for the hand here. I think I might need to do a little bit, yeah, a little bit of colouring on the blue here as well with the pen, which I forgot to do. Accentuating the darker areas, leaving the lighter areas. I'm going to turn this pen around because you can use the side of this as like a shade. The larger areas work really well. Sometimes, if it's not running out. Yes, really running out. But I can use a real light touch to this side. That's what I want. Barely see it, but just what you can see just adds a little bit to it. Like that. And that pen's pretty much had its time, like all the rest. Where'd the blue go? And there we have it. One completed picture. I'm going to go around the outlines, but I'm pretty much done here now, guys. So if you have enjoyed watching this, have enjoyed listening to this video, this stream, then I'd love to know your thoughts on what you would do next, or what you thought of today's video, or what you think of today's picture. What we're going to do, guys, is tap that live chat button. Or if you're watching back and you've made it all the way to the end of this part of the video, well done. Because it's boring as shit. I know that, guys. But we are live, so you guys can tune in and chat to me. Dee 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 dee. Okay. What colour should I have there? Use a lot of blue already, so let's not use blue. I could use a darker purple, I suppose. I've already used purple, so I don't want to use the same purple again. Orange, blue, gray, red, green. Green. Green could do it. I'll use green. There we are. It's a very potent green, so I might use this on the as well. Just to show there is green here. There we go. On the edge here as well. All the door jambs. That side. There we are. This fridge is empty. And it's green. I can't see much else I need to do here, guys. So I'll say thank you very much for watching. My name's Blut084. BLUT084. Don't forget to subscribe for the next part, which will be digitizing or digitally drawing over this and turning it into a digital work art. The construction lines will be live, so don't forget to tune in for that one. But don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's live stream and the recordings that will follow after. The reveal of the full and finished piece of artwork will be on Sunday, so don't forget to either check it out on the channel or come over to Instagram. Click the links that will appear. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.